Indiana actually made a run at this a number of years ago when I was in the U.S. House, and we were overlooked at that time, and I pushed for drone test sites. We were able to get two additional, in addition to the 7 that had already been established around the country, 2 additional drone test possible sites in the National Defense Bill in 2024. Right after that happened, I told my staff that we needed to start to work with ARI in Indianapolis, Purdue University, and Department of Defense on making sure that Indiana was really well versed and prepared for this application process. Fast forward, several months, President Trump comes in and he selects Brian Bedford of Carmel to be the FAA director. And as Brian came through my office preparing for confirmation, I let him know I was not only focused on airlines, but drones, and I wanted to work with him on this project. So we did once he was confirmed, and the rest is sort of history.
You mentioned ARI and Purdue defense assets that are here. What makes Indiana, in your view, really kind of tailor-made for this facility?
Well, a number of things, Gary, one of which is our manufacturing sector. The Trump administration, I think very smartly, wanted to make sure that among the next drone test sites was a state that was heavily involved in manufacturing, could manufacture some of the most sophisticated things at scale, driving down the cost so that our Defense Department and commercial partners would reap the benefit of that. So that was important. We also have some really important existing assets. Among those assets are the universities like Purdue. Indiana State already has some drone programs out there. We have Crane Naval Base. They have a lot of expertise in some of the areas required to build and design these drones and test them. And then, of course, we have Atterbury right by Johnson County, and that's going to be an important test range for these drones moving forward.
Talk impact, certainly in Indiana, but as you look, first of all, from a strategic standpoint, nationally, national security and other things, why is leading on drone technology important for the United States?
Well, it's really important. We've learned, if you look at the war in Ukraine, to a lesser extent, but still important in almost every theater across the world. Drones provides a distributed way, distributed cameras and sensors to go out and not only attack targets, but also gather intelligence, engage in logistics and whatnot. So that's the national security dimension to this. And increasingly, and this is perhaps just as exciting for Hoosiers, we're starting to see a logistical dimension to it in moving some high value added sort of items from one spot to another and getting a fee. I think before long you're going to start to see more ag applications emerging. We already see some of those farmers in Indiana using drones to look at things on their fields. So the number of applications is hard for me to predict, but the experts tell me that increasingly we'll start to see all kinds of unexpected applications.
Yeah, so this goes far beyond defense and security. This across a number of sectors. Yeah. In terms of impact, what potentially could this mean for Indiana when you look at the potential for investment and jobs and those types of things?
Well, it's really going to mean a lot more training activity in Indiana for our war fighters. That would mean our own National Guard, but other military units visiting Atterbury in particular, but other parts of Indiana so that they can test drones and train with them. It's going to mean more drone design. These would be really good paying jobs, and for all those applications I mentioned, you need people to design specific drones for those applications. And what I'm perhaps most excited about, Gary, is the most manufacturing intensive state in the country, is the ability to manufacture drones. And I think a lot of Hoosiers can see themselves, maybe they don't aspire to go to a college or anything, but they enjoy working with their hands. They enjoy working on cutting edge technology. These would be really good paying manufacturing jobs, and Indiana could play an important role in that effort.
As you look at this, I guess, sector of the economy, if you will, emerging sector in terms of drone technology, is there a need in Indiana for, you mentioned training, but education and curriculum and higher education really stepping to the fore to help train these future workers?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. I think the model for this, or a variant of it, Gary, is the CHIPS Act that we passed, the CHIPS and Science Act. In that case, you had Purdue University at the very high end of the wage scale and education level, training postdocs in electrical engineering and whatnot. But at the same time, Purdue joined together with Ivy Tech Community College to train technicians to work in these factories, like the SK Hynix factory that will be in Lafayette. So that's what I imagine happening here is our various educational institutions dividing and conquering based on the particular job type. And then we could have a cluster of institutions and academic expertise so that we build that workforce pipeline. And then whatever customers may want to engage with us, whether it's Amazon wanting to move some stuff through some defined corridors in the future, or the Department of Defense, Indiana will be regarded as the nation's center of excellence in drone manufacturing and drone dominance.
Any thoughts on a timeline? I mean, what can we expect next as this kind of rolls out?
Well, I think the next step, and you'll see this, I'll say vaguely in coming months, is to clarify exactly what air corridors this test site will cover. We've seen some mock-ups. I think we have a very strong reason to believe that Crane will be included in that air corridor. Atterbury will be included in the air corridor. And this is going to run up to Purdue University, I would anticipate. But these final decisions will be made by FAA in consultation with the governor's office. He's been showing great leadership on this, and other stakeholders, local communities as well that really want to engage in the drone economy.